welcome to 216, a link to the past Randomizer podcast, where we do all the checks. Fear agent, I am not. I am your guest host for this week, Lumaga. Wait. Don't turn off the podcast just yet. Fear will be here momentarily to do the interview. I'm just filling in for a hot minute while Fear is still under the weather. Being sick, especially during the holidays, really sucks. And we all wish for Fear to get well soon. So let's go ahead and get started. Today, Fear Agent has ScaryOlive on the show. ScaryOlive has been around for a long time in the community, and in particular, the Francophone community. Fear sends his apologies to ScaryOlive that he could not be here to give a proper introduction. I'm really excited to hear this interview. I want to learn more about ScaryOlive and his background. Before all that, let's first look at some 216 community updates. The 216 weekly race happens every Saturday at noon Eastern. And while there will be no restream this Saturday, there will still be a race. The mode is not yet decided, but check out the Discord through the week for more updates. There's going to be a charity event that I'm excited to tell you about. Friend of the show, Ninjembro, will be running an AD Keys showcase at MagFast, which is the charity event associated with MagFest, running in January. His showcase will take place on Friday, January 6th at 10 p.m. Eastern, and it will be supporting the charity Child's Play. Along with him, fellow friend of the show, Danny Music, will be commentating. This event really is for a great cause. So come join them and show your support. Friday, January 6th, 10 p.m. Eastern. You can watch it online at twitch.tv/magfast. There's also league playoffs going on, and both the Invitational and Open Leagues are headed into the conference semifinal round. In the Invitational bracket, the last match of round 1 finished up on Saturday with the Tile Roomies beating Last Locationeers in Game 5. What a series. This makes the conference semifinals turn out to be Pugs versus Tile Roomies, Triple Clown Fiesta versus the Eastern Skippers, Divine Beastie Boys versus WJP DTB, and OK Dudes versus Don't Forget to Track Us. Fear had mentioned recently in an episode that Divine Beastie Boys and Beats from the East were having trouble getting Game 5s between them scheduled and played. And it looks like there was a resolution to that. Divine Beastie Boys comes away with the victory. Congratulations to Fear and his team for moving on. The open bracket still has a lot of mystery left to it. There's too many games left to be played to make an accurate prediction of who's going to play who. That should be sorted out within the next day or two. Check out the schedule, check out the bracket at ALTTPRleague.com. Aside from League, there is a lot of stuff happening in the community. And I don't have time to go through everything, but I do want to talk a little bit about the Pilot Spoiler Tournament that's going on right now. I absolutely love this mode. It's really inconvenient to get a lot of pickup races for this mode. You need to have a good rapport with your pilot or your runner, and so do your opponents. And it has to be a convenient time for all 4 of you. So having a structured environment for this mode is really the way to play it. I'm really happy that this tournament exists. Normally this mode was only played during the League co-op weeks. And so having this tournament kind of fills a hole in the community. A lot of people feel the same way I do. This is a great mode. I understand why the admins didn't include it in the League schedule this year, but I really hope to see it back next year. This is the second year for the tournament. There's a lot of players who have paired up here to make some really scary teams. Not the least of whom are the returning champions Gamachu and Moogle Charm. They're back to defend their title. Personally, I'm having a lot of fun with my teammate Josh Bittner. Win or lose, we're having a lot of fun. That's what it has to be about. If you're not having fun, why even bother with it? It has to start with fun. That's it for now. Let's get into this interview between Fear and ScaryOlive. I'm excited to hear what they got to say, and I hope you are too.
All right, Scary. Super excited to have you on the show. Gamma told me I needed to get more like French-speaking people on the on the show. Like there was not enough representation. And the first person I thought of was you. I'm a big fan of yours, a big fan of who you are and what you've played. You're part of the community, and I love that you also have a meme that came out of the league.
Oh yeah, French community is a big part of my upbringing in this Rando world, and but also a lot of international community. So I'm glad to be the first one, and hopefully I'm not the last.
Yeah, for sure. We definitely got to have more representation on the show. But I'm glad to have you on. So let's get kind of started with your history. First of all, you're French speaking, but you're not in France, right? You're actually
no.
Canada?
I'm from Quebec, Montreal. So, but you can still hear the French. Some people think Montreal speak French, speak English. We do, but not daily life,
Yeah, sure. So what was it like growing up in Montreal as a young kid? Did you play a lot of video games back then?
Yeah, I was born with a controller in my hands. I think my grandfather had a NES. I'm born in 89. So there was a NES at my grandfather's house. And apparently from age 3, I was playing Mario Brother and finishing the game. I doubt it, okay? But that's the tale my mom.
Yeah, in your memory of what you told, you were beating that game. Man, as a kid playing Super Mario Brothers, the original one was super hard.
Yeah, for sure. Probably what my mom says when she says I was beating it, maybe I was beating the first level, But
sure, yeah. Moms like to exaggerate a little bit. My mom always thinks everything I do is wonderful. It's like I don't know about that, Mom.
Yeah. I had that NES, and then we got it at some point. We got it like he gave it to us, my grandfather. So then I would have like the Legend of Zelda and Duck Hunt. Duck Hunt was like my favorite, but I had a problem where like I was very scared of the dog. So if I missed,
what?
I was like, oh no, the dog, and he was laughing at me. I'm like, oh no, and then I had to run back crying upstairs, Mama, the dog, and she had to go reset the game for me so I can start.
Oh
again.
my gosh, that's so funny. I'm sorry not to laugh at you as a child, but you were afraid of the cartoon dog in Duck Hunt, even though you loved the game. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So did you stick with Nintendo for a while then? Was that your primary source?
Yeah, after that, I guess I got like the SNES pack at my like 7th birthday with A Link to the Past. That was my first game of SNES. I remember getting it at Christmas. And, because I was not speaking English at this time, so I couldn't play all the games like Final Fantasy where you kind of have to read the text and whatever, but A Link to the Past or Mario Bros., you can play those without any text. You just, follow the numbers.
Sure. So you were playing Link to the Past back in the day then? That was one of your go-tos?
I don't know if I finished it when I was a kid. Like, I don't have this memory, but I know I was playing it all the time with my friends and alone. And it was, so that's a bit of the part where the nostalgia comes in for me. Like when I play Randomizer, it's my childhood game. Sure.
Was that your favorite game on the NES or was it something else? Was there another dog that you're afraid of on the Super Nintendo?
Yeah, on Super Nintendo, I guess I would say probably Donkey Kong Country 2, the second one. When that come out, I think I played that a lot. And eventually, when I started speaking a little bit of English, Final Fantasy 4, I was renting that all the time. Strangely enough, I've never played any Final Fantasy 4 randomizer because my experience with like A Link to the Past randomizer is like it kind of ruined the game for me. Like I could never replay it. I feel like casually anymore. So I don't want to ruin another like great childhood game for me in Final Fantasy 4.
Sure. Why do you think it's ruined it for you though?
Well, I mean, now I know the route. I can do it in less than like 90 minutes. I'll never be able to be like lost in it and wondering where to go,
Sure.
That like feeling of just playing the game and discovering it. Now it's like I know everything about it.
Sure. There's no exploration. There's no discovery. There's no.
Yeah, I'm still happy I spent all this time in the game because it's such a great game. But I feel like I've lost that aspect of I'm rediscovering it every time. Like I like to play all the games like Golden Sun, I'll take it back every 5 years and play it again anew, and I don't remember the mechanics and rediscover it every time. Maybe yes, I know a little bit about it more than the first time I played it, but yeah. So I've tried to not do too much speed runs because I feel like it ruins my nostalgia.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Did you stay again with the Nintendo stuff as you grew older? Did you continue playing games?
Then it was 64, GameCube. I was always Nintendo. I knew about the other consoles because when the Final Fantasy 7 was on PlayStation, there was like a bit of a frustration for me. I couldn't play it, and everybody was saying like, "Oh, it's the best one ever! Oh my god!" But in my family, it was always like, "Okay, you can only have one console." So I stick with Nintendo. But when I started making my own money, like mowing grass, I bought myself, I think, a PS2. And then that's where I started going a bit away from Nintendo around PS2, PS3. I still had the Wii, but now I had two consoles. So I was able to explore a little bit outside of Nintendo. And then 2010 was when, with StarCraft, that was when... I started PC gaming, and now I've been mostly PC gaming in my real gaming life.
StarCraft is what got you into PC gaming, really?
Yeah, well, my father was a big PC guy. Like, he loved computers early on. So in my house, when I was a kid, we had like 7 PCs or something like that. Like, we had games for that. And one of the first one, Warcraft, StarCraft. But it was not online yet, or a little bit. But I remember there was one summer where I broke my arm at school, and I couldn't like go to play outside with my friends and go in the pool. So, and you can't when you have a broken arm. It was my, I think it was my left arm, so I could not like play Nintendo because that holding the controller is. But I could play StarCraft with the one hand on the mouse, and I could play SimCity and The Sims and Diablo. So that's the year I really discovered PC gaming. But our PC, we had a lot of PCs, but they were not very strong. So for gaming later on, until 2010, when I built my first dedicated PC with my own money, that's when I started like being a big PC gamer.
Okay. So did you move on to like StarCraft 2 and other like MMOs after that? Yeah,
well, StarCraft 2 was like a big discovery for like competitiveness, and I just like started falling in love with like, oh, okay, you can like you can learn, you can get better. It's not you're not like playing a story. Yes, there's a story component, but I've never done MMO at this point because MMOs, like Warcraft, you have to pay like a subscription fee. And I've never liked the concept of rentals, I don't like Spotify. I don't like Netflix. I can get behind because it's like you rent movies anyways, but I don't like paying subscription for anything. And so for me, World of Warcraft was never a choice, but yeah, it was, StarCraft was like, oh, that's amazing. I played hours and hours and tried to get better and better. I think I managed to get from 2010 to 20. I guess I went Diamond League, which is not the best, but maybe like top 15%, I guess.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So I don't really know much about StarCraft, so you're gonna have to forgive me a little bit on here. But was this sort of your introduction to competitive, like online gaming then?
Yeah, for sure. Before I knew you could play game online and versus each other, like Age of Empire or even StarCraft 1, but I've never seen like competition of, people are like, there's a tournament going there and the winner and people from Korea are playing and oh my God, and these Friday nights fight. And for me, it was a big discovery. And I'm a big competitive person. I've always been like if I'm playing tennis with my friends, I want to win so bad. If I'm playing Monopoly, man, if I lose, I would flip the board and like I would I would have tantrums. Very competitive. I don't know why. It's always been like this. Even if we're playing Smash with our friends, I'm trying to win. If we're playing Mario Kart, I was always too much competitive for my friends. And so when I discovered that I could be competitive, like on my own terms and don't have any need for that with my friends, that was a big relief.
Did that help with your friend group then, like playing Mario Kart and stuff, so you don't have to be kind of a dick when you don't win?
When you start like playing StarCraft and you're like, okay, this is really, I really need skill and I really need to practice. Okay, now it's Friday night, I'm drinking beer, we're playing Mario Kart. Mario Party. I don't need to like win. We're just having a good time. You know, that my competitive scratch is not there anymore.
Sure. Which is funny because, I mean, we'll get to this with Rando, but I don't think of you as like a hyper competitive Rando player. Not that you're not good or not competitive, but you're so chill when you're playing nowadays.
Yeah, I guess that's it was not always like that, but maybe since 2020, I've been very, very more laid back on my tryharding of Rando.
Sure. So StarCraft was your outlet to let your competitiveness out and not affect your social life. That's actually really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Did that then introduce you to like streaming and the Twitch world?
Exactly. Day 9, you know, it's one of the main guy that launched the StarCraft broadcasting. He was the first commentator. I remember like I found out his YouTube videos, but now there was like a link to Ustream. That was like in 2010. And you could watch the Day 9 Daily, which was like a school where he teaches you like how to play. You could watch it live every night. And then one day he said like, oh, Ustream is not very good. We're moving to Justin.tv. I was like, what is that? Why? Like Ustream sounds so much better than Justin TV. That sounds like he's making money or whatever. But then he was right. Justin TV was becoming Twitch. And from there, you know, you could like, oh, there's not just this guy. You can watch all of the other guys. Oh, and eventually from the Team Liquid forums, which is the forum for StarCraft, there was one of the admins, Plexa, that he also did like speedrunning for Golden Sun, which Golden Sun is one of my favorite games in RPGs. And so I discovered like, oh, you can watch also speedrunning on there, and that's opened the door to a whole new world.
Sure. Yeah. Once you discover the world of speedrunning, it's like no going back, right?
Yeah. I've been a watcher for a long time before I ever dabbled. Like, I think watching Plexa, then I discovered Speedrun Lives. And so every night, like when I'm going to bed and I want to watch something before I fall asleep, I would go to Speedrun Live and just check at who's streaming, and then I would watch like Ocarina of Time speedruns and Wind Waker speedruns and all the I loved Pokemon like Red and Blue, no glitch speedrun, just the grind of the reset and the RNG for me was just like, oh my god. Nowadays that I know what it feels like to just have like 4 blue balls, I would never even try to do one of those crazy RNG speedruns, but watching was like, oh, okay, that was so good.
For sure. Yeah. Like the world of speedrunning is such a cool introduction. So you were in on Twitch before it was even Twitch through watching your those guys. That's really cool.
Yeah. And I wanted so bad to stream back then. You know, when in 2010, when I was doing StarCraft, I was like, oh, I got to stream. I have the PC, but the problem was I was still living at my parents' house, and like internet, it was not unlimited, and it was not, I could not like start like asking my parents like, oh, can you up the bill of internet so just that I can stream? So until I got my own house and my own internet, that was when I could consider starting streaming. But at this point, I was not playing StarCraft anymore, and there was just like this part of me I thought was over with. But little did I know later on, I was going to be forced to do it.
Sure, for sure. Let me ask you this, because of the language barrier that you talked about a little bit earlier with some of the SNES games.
Yeah.
Do you remember when you started getting games that you were able to play in your native language?
That was never in Quebec. In France, In France, apparently there's a law. You can like, I know there's version of A Link to the Past in French, but for us, so actually that was a reason I became really good in English compared to most of my friends. Like in first year of high school, like I was kingpin, like I was having 100% in all of my English because I had learned English to play video game.
That's awesome.
That's like
so
at
cool.
some point you like I was, because with like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, you know, these games, it's just like okay, now you have to like talk to people. So I would, Mom, what does it say? What does it say? And even my mom is not very good in English. So at some point I was like, okay, I have my dictionary here, and I would translate, and I got like pretty good at English. So, and all my close friends from nowadays, like that I'm still very close with, we were all in high school together, and we were all the kids that were very good in English because we played video games.
That's so funny. That's funny to think, because like you're saying in France, they had the option to have games translated, but I guess because you're in Canada, everyone just assumes you're going to be speaking English, right? That's what the assumption.
Yeah. I think from the Wii, when in Nintendo, like I think like Mario Galaxy, you could have it in French because it's disc-based. From there, it's easy to switch and you make one worldwide release. But at this point, I didn't care. And now I don't play games in French. And even like my Windows right now is in English because it's just more computer. It's all English, you know. I watch movies in English now too, because what's the point of watching a translation when you speak the native language? Sure.
That is cool that video games helped you learn a second language, though. I think that's awesome. It helps you get better at school. Like, who would have thought, right? Like, everyone's always like, video games are bad for you, especially like in the 90s when parents like, stop playing video games. So you're like, Mom, I'm learning.
But it was awesome. Good in high school, but then when I hit college, I don't know, Cégep in Quebec, I don't know what, I think it's college after high school. They made you pass a test before you get in there to see your level of English, and there's different classes for each level. And I, like a dumbass, I thought, oh, I'm going to show off. I'm going to so I had good grade. And then I was like in a class with all English native people. And then we were like doing dissertations and like shit that you do in your French class, but in English. And that was like, why did I just not pretend I'm bad at English and have an easy grade?
That's so oh man. So so let's get back to the speedrunning. You're watching speedrunning, you're watching Twitch, you're playing StarCraft. When do you first start streaming? You said when you got on your own, and was it specifically just the StarCraft stuff?
So no, after StarCraft, I played Diablo 3 for a long, long time, and then I moved on to Overwatch, and then Hearthstone. But I would not stream those, you know. So if I play with my friend, I'm not streaming. And anyway, I didn't have any thing to stream, so I would just play that. And I guess around 2017, I was making a bit more money, and I was living in my own place, and I'm like, okay, I want to start streaming. So I bought a Elgato streaming card. I bought a webcam. I bought a microphone, and I started doing let's play of I think I did Final Fantasy 15 Let's Play. I did 2 episodes on Twitch. I had nobody watching, and I just felt like it was a poor experience. I'm like, okay, it's boring to do a Let's Play when nobody's watching, and I just want to read the text and do my own thing. So I abandoned the idea of streaming, even though I had bought a bit of the material. And then when I found out about A Link to the Past Randomizer, I was like, oh, but that's perfect. I already have everything to stream. I won't have to be just an emulator and a tracker like most of people were at the time. I was like, oh, I could have my webcam. I could have interactive stream. So that was just a perfect storm.
So how did you discover Link to the Past Randomizer then?
Yeah. There's a streamer and a YouTuber called Ryu Card. I don't know if you do know him. He plays a Super Mario Maker. Yeah. In 2017, he uploaded a Tough Seed video, and I'm like, what is Tough Seed? I click, and hey, that's Zelda Link to the Past. That's cool. Hey, that's not supposed to be there. Oh shit. So he plays it's not a race. He just plays it. Yeah. And I thought, that's amazing. I want to do that myself. So I think from there, I figured out how to get a seed in my SNES Classic that I got And I called my friends. I'm like, hey, Friday night, what do you do? I don't know. Okay, come to my house. We're gonna like drink beers and we're gonna play A Link to the Past, but randomized. What is that? I'll tell you. So we did like and I streamed that. I don't have it anymore, but we played a seed together. Nobody knew anything. It took us like 12 hours. We were drunk and it was great fun.
That sounds like the best way to approach it, right? You're not doing a race. You're just there with your friends trying to figure out how the hell the game is finished.
Yeah, at this point I didn't even know that there was race of that. Okay, so I did that, and then I think I told you I was already often looking at speed SRL, and then I saw that there was like speed gaming race. I'm like, oh, I've played that Link to the Past. So now I watch the race. I'm like, oh, that's very interesting. Well, I wonder if I could try. And then there was like I think the tipping point was the Andy Christos race. When because I was a big fan of AGDQ since like 2014, I guess I would watch every time. And when that race, I was like, okay, I can't wait anymore. I have to start. So I think like 2 weeks later, I was starting my first SRL race.
That's awesome. So that means you started actually racing in early 2018, just before I got going.
Yeah. Okay. I discovered in end of 2017, but the starting racing I think was January 2018.
So how did those first races go? Were you competitive? Did you?
I was not. Unlike a lot of people, like I never practiced. Like except the seed I did drunk with my friends. I started racing right away. No practice, no whatsoever. Okay. If you look at I went earlier to look. My first race, I finished in 4 hour 21. I was last. The guy before me was 2 hour 50. And like my comment is, first race, Master Sword Ganon is not easy, but doable. Next time I won't be last. And of course I was last also the next time.
Sure. Yeah, I think a lot of people do offline practice before they start racing, but you said, no, I'm going right in.
I'm going right in. I had watched a lot. Okay. I had, at that point, maybe I had watched for a month, like every night I would watch a race. So I knew all the things, but I've never done it. And when you watch, you don't look at execution so much as, oh, that's like the routes. I was route in my head, but no execution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Master Sword Ganon for your first seed is not easy.
I don't even remember like how long I spent there. Maybe like I spent 1 hour doing that. I don't know. I have no idea. But I went straight in, and it took me like maybe 3 months to get like to sub 2 consistently.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. How was those first early experiences? Were you finding like a community within the Link to the Past randomizer crews?
Yeah. Like, okay, so I think you mentioned that, but that's true. That the way that it worked this time, like everybody was streaming the same seed, and the one that would finish earlier, usually they would raid the people still racing that seed. And so when you were the worst, like me, I would get like tickle down. I would get like raid because I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not finished yet. And the people that have finished, they would stay in your chat and like, oh, haha, yeah, it took me a hard time to find this and whatever. And so eventually, like, I think Ultima, Chizame, Oase, Doomtap, they were people that we would every night like raid each other. And eventually we started like getting in the Discord together.
Okay. A lot of those names aren't actually racing anymore. Like I haven't seen Chisame in I don't know how long.
Yeah, Chisame is retired, I think, for 2 years. But we still talk on Discord, we spend so much time together just from the early years that we're still friends,
That's awesome.
I met him even, so we were
Canada. Did you really? That's cool. Yeah. Well, Chisame was my first league teammate.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's been that long. So did you start trying to enter tournaments, or was it more of just like a casual pickup race sort of thing that you were doing early on?
Oh no, I was like all in. Like when I started racing a randomizer, it like consumed me within my soul, and it was all I was thinking I was dreaming about it. When I was at work, I would be playing like the simulator that Keong made. I would be like, so, and we were talking in Discord, like, oh, all the drama, all the this, all the that. And so when there's a tournament, I'm in. And especially the first tournament, the spring tournament, that's the big one, like it's 500 people Swiss. There was a Ryu car in there. The guy that I first saw the video upload and that made me start Rando, he was playing. So I was like, oh, maybe there's a chance I will be paired against him, you know? So I wanted so bad to play in that tournament. And I actually did pretty well. I went on to I made it out of the
Swiss round.
Yeah, on my first tournament. I did not expect that, but
that's
that was
awesome.
Like, yeah, that was really like, oh wait, maybe I'm not that bad.
Okay,
but
hold on. You just said Ryukar was in the tournament?
Yeah, Grand Prix was in that tournament.
How did I not know this? This is the first. I had no idea Ryukar ever raced Link to the Past Randomizer. Whoa.
He never raced, like, I've never seen him like in a SRL race, but he was in the tournament. I don't know who convinced him, what happened, but I don't think he was streaming it on his main, but he was there. And I don't know how he did. At that point, I was just like, that was not like my main thing. I want to play him, but I knew he was there and I was hoping I could get to him, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I remember because I got into streaming watching streamers do Mario Maker 1. That was like, that was kind of my introduction to streaming. And it was like him and Grand Pooh Bear and a couple others where I'm like, oh, this is super cool.
Yeah.
But I do remember him running a couple of different seeds, like just on his own casually, but I had no idea he was ever racing at all.
I think even recently he did on his second channel. He has a second channel and he did like a few rando for a while. And also like a lot of randomizer like Final Fantasy and Super Mario RPG. But I don't think he's ever like been on SRL or Race Time or any tournament ever since.
Sure. Yeah. That just, I learned something new after how many years of being in the community. That's so funny. So you did well in that first tournament. You continue on. You end up joining the league in season 1 with a team that's one of the few teams that have been around since season 1. Yeah. 2 Pro 2 Furious. That's you. That first year was you, Trinex, and Ultima.
Yeah.
So tell me about that experience.
League was not even like after the first tournament. There was, you don't know about this because you're not in the French tournament, but that's when I discovered about French community.
Okay.
So for me, right after the first tournament, the first thing that happened after that in August 2018, French tournament, and that was another mind-blown experience for me because I'm like, wait, you're telling me there's like a dedicated server with French people in there, and so. That's where I discovered like Ninban speak French. Oh, Raiwek, I didn't even know who he was. And we did that tournament.
Yeah. So at this point, was the French community pretty small? Or was there already a decent amount?
First tournament was 32 players. And that was if you count Quebec and France.
Okay.
And there were people like, Banta, Lin, Ajnem was there the first year. A lot of great people. I didn't do very well. I got beat by Pryor in the first tournament, but I did pretty well. I went to, I think, quarterfinals, which like I was playing for less than 6 months.
And those names that you just dropped, those aren't just like names of just some randos. Those are like really good runners in the community.
Yeah. But at that point, like, nobody was as good as they eventually became.
Sure.
I beat Ninban in that first tournament. Nowadays he would beat me, but nowadays he doesn't play so much. But for a long time he was better than me. After that, Lin, I think I was really better than Lin the first tournament and maybe the second. But after that, he had like his major role and went on to win a lot of tournaments. And so, the French community was a big discovery. And that's when I kind of started like a bit getting a bit out of the international community because like suddenly you start having like French people in your Twitch and like, oh, I have to speak in French in my Twitch. But when I speak French in my Twitch now, the followers that I have gotten for like the first 6 months, they all speak English. They come to my stream. Oh, you speak French now. Okay. So I had like a big turnover, but that was cool because it's such a small community, and the people, they all, like in Quebec, for the Quebec part, it's all in the same area, so it's very easy to do meetups. What you can't really do in international community, or you can do like with SGLive, or but it's like you have to travel a long distance. Here, I could just pick my car and go see Raiwick, So
that is awesome. That's something that I haven't really experienced. Like, there is a couple of runners here in the Pacific Northwest, but it's not a lot, and Washington's pretty spread out as well. So, meeting up with people isn't as easy. But the French community has grown a lot in the last couple of years as well. Have you seen that growth? Of
course. Like, I think the second tournament was already like bigger, 50 people, and then I think it reached to about 60 1 year, and now I think it's a bit shrinking because a lot of people are not playing anymore. But it kept growing, and the people, they get very good. Last tournament that just finished this year, a lot of like names that you would not think. Like the winner, he did a perfect, like almost perfect tournament. He lost one match in all the Alex Jazz. He lost only one match, and this guy is really good. And but it's not like one of the old school guys. So it's fun to see like Dreeky also. It was fun to see the new names coming out and having like the energy that we once had.
Sure, yeah. Just give him time, right?
Yeah.
This game will beat you down over time. So you're in the thick of the community, and it sounds like from what you're saying, when you're in it, you're like super in it. It's consuming all of your spare time.
Yeah.
So in that first, I guess within the next year, the council gets started, and I believe you were on the first term, right?
No, I was on second term.
The second term. Okay.
Yeah. I thought I had a good chance to get on the first term. I applied because I had created the Crosskeys tournament, and I was a part of the French community, so I thought I have a good resume. But Raiwick got the French spot for the first console term, but I think he really disliked it, and I think he recommended me for the second term, and I think I got in on second term, and I think I stayed 3 terms. I think I was with you for a little while.
Yeah, I think I was on the first 2, I think. So I remember there being some crossover. I'm going to get back to the council, but you mentioned that you helped create the Crosskeys tournament.
Yeah, well, that was like, when you fall, like, I think the expression is falling into success. Like, just I stumble upon it and suddenly I'm doing it, because that was not my main, that was not my idea. I was never really good at Crosskeys. I liked the mode. I think it's really fun. But previously mentioned Ultima was the guy that thought about, making a tournament. And he took all the first generation admins in a room, like Jay Copper, Amazing and for us, Walter, Alazun, me. And he says, okay, let's do a Crosskeys tournament. And he announced it. We're doing a Crosskeys tournament. But nobody did anything. It was just like, yeah, we should really do this. I hope we do this. And that's not the kind of person. Like, at some point I'm like, okay, we've announced that we're going to do it. We should do it. So I started working on it, and I created the Discord, and I made the structure. And everybody was like, oh yeah, that sounds cool. Let's do it. Okay. And eventually I made up the tournament. Basically, the first year, I would say I was pretty much on my own for like pushing forward. But of course, everybody ended up helping. And for the rules, I was not good to know what is a good rule. But the J-Copper or Amazing is good for that. Oh, but everybody needed like pushing in the right direction, because on their own they would not do it. So eventually we'd end up doing it, and with also Tresco from Zelda Speedruns. Yeah, that was the first time a tournament was not on Speed Gaming. So, and it's a it was a learning experience. It's because I don't know what it's like to do a tournament with, like, if I was admin with all my friends versus this. I did not choose any of the people that were admins with me. But I thought it was a good thing because it was a lot of varied opinion. Some people I would have different opinion with, but okay, we can talk it out and find the best thing. But I was not prepared for all the drama just being an admin of a tournament bring to your life, and so it was a really eye-opener.
Sure. Well, also, Crosskeys at the time, like now it's one of the biggest modes. The tournament has 1 million people in it and everyone plays it, but Crosskeys was kind of newish, and it was definitely a smaller subset of the community that was like into Crosskeys. So I don't think the tournament that first time was very big, was it? What, like 60 players maybe?
Yeah, I think it was 70 players, and we did like it was forever. We didn't think through much of the things. We're like, oh, let's do double elimination because single elimination it's not good. Oh, and let's do best of threes because you don't want to lose. So it's just like, I think it was like 8 months tournament. It was Correct ended up winning that one. But yeah, it was like a very long and arduous tournament, and it was not super popular. And we really saw the boom, I think, after the ladder started putting Crosskeys and everything. The second year, that's where we were not expecting that much people. We're like, oh, we had like 70 people first year. Okay, let's prepare like a format for about maybe 80 people. And then it was like 160. We're like, okay, what do we do?
Yeah, that's a lot of work, man. So you talked about some of the headaches about adminning a tournament. Was it the players? Was it just the time that it took? What were some of the headaches that you ran into?
Well, there was, the first of all, okay, the delay. Do you put delay? Some people want it, some people don't want it. And now, okay, you decide we're going to put it. Now you get like all these people, because nowadays people, I think, are more tolerant. But back in the day, everything was drama fuel, Everything was like up for a conversation, and it was forever. So I remember all these things, and we had there was cheating accusations that we had to look for, and then cheating accusation that we were maybe mishandled internally, and then that created like storms inside the admin team, and all of these things. Is just like, oh, and I had like no friend support there. This was just like, I ended up being friend with some of the admins in the group, but it was just like, okay. And I got into fights with like Tresco because like I was very strongly about the fact that French community should be able to stream some match on Speed Gaming French. But it was like, oh no, Speed Gaming French is Speed Gaming and I'm Zelda Speedrun. And I said, dude, I like pushed for all this tournament. I made so much work, and you told me I could do it. And then you said and he decided I couldn't, and I was very angry. But now eventually was able to put it because there's no competition. There's no French Zelda speedrun, so everything ended up fine. But there was a lot of time investment and emotional investment that I'm just not cut for,
Right. I mean, first you're just playing a game, right? Like you're consumed with the game because it's a lot of fun. There's nostalgia. It's brand new. Now you're turning it into work, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And you're not getting paid. You're just volunteering your time. It's stressful because there is so much drama and there's people involved and everyone's got opinions. And it's so hard to just like keep it from exploding.
Yeah. Like I was talking with my friends, like in real life here, about some of the, like I was like going Friday night drinking a beer, and I was like, oh, you guys, this happened and this person said that. And they're like, like this really sounds like, like what's before high school in English?
Like junior high or middle school?
Junior high, like that looks like junior high drama right there. Like it's
right.
It's so ridiculous. Like you're like getting so emotional about all of this. But I'm like, I know, but maybe
but you're also
like
invested, right? You're invested. Yeah. You put your time in. So yeah,
exactly.
For sure.
So combining that and I was admin in the French community for like I think 3 seasons plus a console. at some point I just had too much, you know.
Yeah, you burned yourself out, right?
Yeah, it's just like, okay, I need to take a step back on my adminning stuff, and so that's why I tried to leave the Crosskeys tournament admin for the third year, but then I ended up getting I said, okay, I'm gonna do it one last year, and then we started like getting new people in there, and that year it was more a community. Like I took a step back and let Alazun and Walter and Lin do some work, and then the next year I was in peace with leaving, and they did great this year, and there was new people in there, and I wish them the best. And same for the French tournament. I was like, okay, I think you guys are in good hands, and Council was also the same. I was Council leader for 2 terms, and I was like, okay, that's my last, and goodbye.
Sure. Tell me a little bit about your experience on the Council then. Was it some of the same stressful stuff?
Yes, because I'm not the kind of guy that if I'm in the Council, I will express my opinion, and I will do my duty as a councilman. But so I was very opinionated, and I was always trying to push forward things, and I would clash with some other members of the council, but it was friendly. Of course, it was not like but there was a lot of that, and I don't like cheating. Doing cheating review and stuff. I had to ban 2 people when I was in the council, one from the French tournament, and also one that happened on the Crosskeys tournament. So that was like I had to bring forth and whatever. So I really disliked that. What I kind of liked was glitch reviews. This I thought was fun, especially the best one was when Icebreaker and Diver Down got found, because that was a precedent. Like before that, we always just followed what NMG do. But this time it was like, wait, okay, this is Rando, this is not NMG. And maybe, they decided not to use them. They have their reason, but what's best for Rando? And this was like a fun week, because it started out, when you vote in the council, I don't know if it's the same nowadays, but like the vote starts and everybody votes with emotes, and you can see like on the first day what it's going to be. And people have 1 week, you can change your mind. And I think the first day of Icebreaker and Diver Down, it was like not going to pass. And I think I even voted no on the first day. And then, but there was still continuation of talk. And I think we saw that, hey, it's great because it makes you make different decisions. And, what's the downside here? Like,
right.
And it eventually, like at the last day, I think there was the swing vote, and it ended up passing. And I think nowadays it's pretty. I don't think nobody's like saying, "Oh, I regret that these glitches were accepted."
Sure. Yeah, I think I might have been on the council then for those 2 reviews.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I do think that they were both good additions to the glitches, or loud glitches. I remember also being back and forth, like too many glitches, but whatever. So basically what I've learned from you, Scary, is you are very similar to me, of where you get involved in something and it consumes you, and you're very passionate, and you do all that you can to help with whatever, makes it possible. Right. Like that. I can relate to that.
Yeah. I'm not one to stay there and just watch things not happen. I'll get my end ready. I'll do what must be done. And maybe at some point it costs me I lose the fun of it.
Yeah. Yep.
But I know when to take a step back.
Sure. So coming back to the league, and this is kind of one of the, I guess, controversial things. You have a 2 Pro 2 Furious, my favorite team name that season, and that's such a great name.
Yeah.
You, Trinex, and Ultima, you play that season out. Ultima, one of your teammates, ends up getting banned.
Yeah.
Which, that's a tough out, right? Like,
Yeah, especially I didn't take that ban very well as a personally, because I believed him. It was my friend, and to this day he never said like, oh yeah, I did it, haha. And I always thought that it was not enough evidence. Like I've read the files, but it's my personal opinion. So I was like, do I want to keep playing? You know, but at some point I was like, you know what? League is for fun, because from the first season, that was like, if I remember Genesis, it was like, hey, because we just went through all these tournaments. Okay, let's do like something for fun, teams, co-op modes. So we were like, okay, this one I want to keep. So we decided, okay, let's keep for second season, and that was the right decision, because to this day it's my favorite tournament every year. And now I don't think I've done any like major international tournaments since like the 2019 one.
Mm-hmm.
I've decided like to go laid back on tournaments, because I had like playing, and it's way too much, and also with the admins and stuff. So nowadays I decided I'm only gonna do French tournament and the league.
Yeah. What is it? The casualness of the league, or the fact that you're doing it with friends? Is that what kind of drew you to it?
Yeah. We don't have to take it as seriously as like because I've always hated like qualifiers. Okay, I can't do a qualifier. I hate it. I don't like the stress of like, oh, I have to, when the first person finish, I have to, what's my time, whatever, or look at the people that are playing that day. I'm like, oh, okay, there's too much good people. I'm not gonna play this one. I'm gonna wait for another. I was metagaming in my head too much. So. And at some point, like, I know I'm never gonna be the greatest Link to the Past player. I've seen like the people I've started playing with, Oase and DoomTap, very early on. They decided like, oh, we're not gonna do so much Rando. We're more NMG, and I saw like them getting really, really good at like, a DoomTap. I think is like 4th currently on world leaderboard, and Oase top 20. And we started playing at the same time. And I can't even get a sub 90. And it's just, and so I've talked to them a lot, hey, how did you do it? And what, and I know what I would need to do. And it's not me. I'm a grinder. I play the game and I will get slowly better because I play so much. And sometime I will see a mistake that I can, but I'm not like gonna grind rooms and, I just can't. So I've and when DoomTap came back in 2019, I think, to do the tournament, and he get like 3rd place, I'm like, what a minute! Wait, what? You stopped playing Rando 2 years ago. You're just doing NMG, and now you come back in Rando and you can get like 3rd place. So that's really put like, okay, I'm never gonna be. I have never any hope to win at Rando, and that was fine with me. Because it's just, I don't have it in me, and I prefer to do something else and practice differently.
Mm-hmm. And so let me ask you this before we move on. You were able to team up with Trinex and Ultima. Were those guys you were hanging out with at the time? Like actual friends? Yeah,
actual friends. Even Trinex, I met him also in real life. He came to Montreal, and we got a beer, and we played A Link to the Past in a bar, and we even got like a free shooter, because the waitress, she was like, you guys just came in here like an hour ago, and now you're like at Skullwoods. We're like, yeah. She was like, you guys are so crazy, and she brought us like shooters for us, and we had like a post on the bar's Facebook page, and
that's awesome.
So, yeah, they were my friends, and it was also, it's like, even like the reason I like to do the league is like, it's a way to keep with them. These days we don't play as much as like, because in those days we would like do every Friday night like a voice call race and always talking. Nowadays, even though we're in the same Discord, still we don't talk daily. So the league is like the season of the year where we keep in touch.
Okay, so let me ask you this: the league got more competitive. It's become less casual. Of course, you can do whatever you want. You can make the league whatever you want, but it is more competitive now with the Open and the Invitational. You've been in the Invitational since it's been around. Season 5, things don't go your way. 2 Pro 2 Furious is now relegated to the Open. Does that mean we're going to see 2 Pro 2 Furious back together again in the Open?
As far as I've talked with the guys so far, we decided, we will probably be there next year in open. I mean, for us, it doesn't really change anything. Maybe we'll get more wins, but for us, it's all about just, me. When I play with Trinix, we get a beer and we drink the beer while we do the race. And, when I'm with Oase, like, the famous race that we did, the meme where I was so bad at the co-op.
Right. Spoiler co-op pilot.
But
you're the pilot.
You can see when you watch this clip, you can see our team energy, which is like Oase could have been very mad that because he was very hype about this race. Like, we were playing Andy, okay? He was racing Andy, and in his mind, Oase is like, I can beat Andy easy on execution. I've got a better NMG time than him. So it's gonna be like a big moment for me. I'm gonna show everybody my skill. And here I am like, oh, sorry, I misread like pendant. And he was just laughing. Like, it was not the end of the world. And, I could have understood it if he was like very, very upset about it. But no, we're just playing for have fun. And if it's competitive, like, I would not play Rando if it was not competitive. But I'm not competitive enough to be upset if I lose.
Sure. I think that's a great outlook for it. But that moment in that race is classic. Season 2, like you said, you're racing against Andy. You're the pilot. Oase's doing the playing the game. You send him to with Skull Woods, or it's like, it turns out it was like a pendant or something.
I send him to.
You have the cam on you, because most pilots don't stream, right? Most pilots are just behind the scenes. But not you, Scary. You actually show exactly what you do, and you got your notes up, you got your cam up. And it's classic. I think it's even an emote in the League Discord. Yeah,
I always like to, even when we're doing co-op races, like Trinix will have like a stream with clean audio for your stream, and I will have like the shit show of us trying to communicate. Because what's fun and stupid is like our team. It's Trinix speaks English from USA. Oase is Spanish from Ecuador. I'm French from Canada. So and it's all co-op modes and talking, and so there's always miscommunications.
Yeah,
we're not, and for me it was like Swamp Palace is SP, Skullwood SW, and for me, like I always mixed up those two because they start with S. So because Swamp, sure. The first 2 letters of Swamp is SW, like Skullwoods. So I wrote SW for Swamp, but for Skullwoods. But when I told him, I told him Swamp. So he went in Swamp, and we figured out when he got the pendant that we were not going to win that race.
Yeah, that was excellent. You also have one of my favorite moments from this past season is when you played Gamachu on stream.
Yeah,
on the restream, and apparently you guys made a deal to make a sandwich after you find the hammer. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so you have a deal. So we're watching on stream. I think Gamachu gets it first. I can't remember, but he like pauses, and everybody's like, "What's going on?" Because he just stops playing after he gets the hammer in Eastern Palace. Then you, being who you are, Scary, have a cam and mic and everything ready to show us how to make a sandwich. So I really think you won that race because, one, your sandwich sounded and looked way better. I think Gamachu had ketchup on his sandwich.
I had toasted bread and bacon. I always even made a clamato with vodka. It was deluxe, and I still made it faster than him. But I think maybe my kitchen is nearer to my computer.
So how did that come about? Like, how did you guys even agree to do something like that?
Well, for some reason, Gamachu likes to be in my chat because, I don't know, we're old schoolers. And you know me, if you've been in the community for a long time, you know that like sometime at 2 a.m., sometime you'll see like a ScaryOlive ping, like, hey guys, let's race. And sometimes I'm not exactly sober at these moments. For some reason, when I get home from a party and I'm still a little bit energetic, the one thing I want to do is race, which is so stupid because getting drunk and playing speedrunning and randomizer, it's never a good idea. But I do it, and one time I was doing it, I think it was even a ladder race, and I was really, really far in my alcoholic situation, and Gamachu was watching, and I was like doing poorly. It was a swordless ladder, and I said, you know what? I'm hungry. I don't care about this race, so I'm gonna go do myself a sandwich. And so I didn't like forfeit and do a sandwich. I stopped the game and went make my sandwich. And you could see it on the stream because my camera is not that far. And Gamachu and Falcon they were like, oh my god, I can't believe this. And I eventually even won the race because the opponent forfeited and I didn't. And so it was like, okay, that's legendary. You won a race where you like took a 5-minute break to go make a sandwich. And awesome. So when we were paired this year in the league, Gamachu was like, hey, are you gonna make a sandwich this time again? And I'm like, well, I'm not opposed to it. I love sandwiches. But because it's like I'm already gonna lose to you, so I don't want to like lose by 5 minutes more because I took a sandwich break. So I'm gonna do it if you do it. Okay. He was up to it. So we just decided like let's do hammer because that's we're guaranteed to get that like not that far in the seed, and it also like rhymed with the am. There was a little nice pun in there.
It was great, man. I loved it. It was so fun. I love that sort of like you're competitive, right? Like we've established that you're competitive, but really you just want to have a good time. And I totally respect that. And I really appreciate that. So what was the breaking point? Because there was a time where you were everywhere. As you mentioned, you were involved in so many different things. You had your hands in all the different pots. But then you were just gone, and you needed to take a break because you burnt yourself out. But what was that breaking point, and how was the time away?
I think it was right after when I left the console, and I think it was right after like SG Live 2020. I think I just decided, you know what? I've been playing this for so long. I've like neglected so many other things, like if we're just staying in the gaming realm, like there was a lot of game I have not been playing because I've just been grinding into the past. And like just with my friends, sometimes I would like, oh, sorry, I can't come this Saturday night because it's the only time I can play this French person, or this, I have got to practice. Or so I just like, I thought, I need like a time off. I need to play some other games, and do more stuff with my real friends. And that's what I did. And I managed to stay away from Rando. I thought when I did that, I didn't think like it's going to be a break. I thought I'm out forever. Goodbye. That's over. I left all the Discords. I was in a Discord, a lot of Discord. I left everywhere. I just disappeared. And I didn't even cross my mind to play Rando for like probably a good 8 months. But then I got a ping from the French tournament saying, hey, we're doing a new tournament. It could be cool if you join. And I was like, I haven't played in a long time. French tournament. They're cool people. I'm going to just take it easy. And I joined back for that. But because I joined back for the tournament, well, maybe I'll join back the ladder to practice. Oh, maybe I'll join some pickup race. Oh, maybe. So I got sucked in back again.
Yeah.
And then the conversation came with trying to say, hey, we could do the league. Because I think this year we were not supposed to play the league. Like it was pretty clear that me and Oazi had stopped playing. So, but then when I think Trinex saw that I came back for French tournament, it was like, oh, we could do a league again. And we did. So, and now it's the same. I finished the league. I finished French tournament. I'm done with Rando until next French tournament. That's the way I see it.
I think that's a good balance, right? I feel like you're enjoying yourself more. You're playing the games that.
Yeah. Now I have time. Like I'm playing Octopath Traveler these days. I'm playing guitar. I'm reading books. I'm going on dates. I gotta find a girlfriend. It's hard to find a girlfriend when you're playing Super Nintendo. So. Yeah. I'm taking the time and I'm having fun, and but I don't think I'll ever be able to like just never play it,
Sure.
So I like having like maybe like a 3 to 4 months that I'll play it every year, and maybe because I don't play as much, I'll never be as good as maybe like in the start when I like the best I did I think was 2019. I got like top 64 in international, so I'll never be even close to that, but. I still enjoy it, and I can't like put it away.
Right. And I think Trinex summed it up best when he's like, I don't want to play in the league playoffs. I want to play the 7 weeks. I don't care that we don't make the playoffs. Yeah. I actually just like the 7 weeks because, you play at most, 5 games over 7 weeks or whatever it is. Yeah. And that makes it perfect.
Well, me, I've been I've wanted to do the playoff for the league. Not this year. This year, I knew from the start we were like very favorites to be relegated. But the year previous year, I always try our best, and I would have loved it if we even do the playoff. But Trinex, maybe he doesn't want to do it, but we never like true to not do the playoff.
Right? Yeah,
it just never happened.
He's not tanking. He's not tanking the games, but he's okay. He's been, and when we had him on the show, he's okay not making the playoffs. That 7 weeks is perfect for him, and it sounds like it works for you pretty well too. All right, we've hit the hour mark, ScaryOlive. So I'm going to ask you the question that I ask everyone, and it's tilt. How do you handle tilt, whether it's in the middle of the race or at the end of the race, or even with a different game? What's your approach to handling tilt? Yeah,
my, I told you I was like very competitive, and I would like flip at Monopoly and whatever. And I remember early in my life, I was playing Golden Sun, a game I mentioned multiple times tonight, and I was playing and I was trying to beat the boss and I couldn't do it. And I was like raging. And my mother told me, just stop trying, close the game, come back tomorrow. And I did that. And the next day I picked it up and I finished for first try. So I thought, okay, there's something there, Maybe when you're too invested and it's like making you like feel emotion that you don't want, just let it go. And forget about it and start again the next day on a clean slate. And so that's how I've been, when I do ladder race or pickup race or whatever, and I get tilted because I never get tilted from others people action. Like I never get tilted like, oh, this other guy had a better rod than me. I get tilted like when I make a gamble and it doesn't pay. And I love to gamble in A Link to the Past because that's just like, for me, it's boring if you don't. But then sometimes you just like, oh, you do this, I'm skipping this, and oh, there it was the mirror, whatever. So I forfeit. I forfeit and I leave and I go do something else. I don't care. That's it. If I'm in a tournament, I have no choice to keep on. But after the race, I'll try to do something else and just not think about it, not get it consume me.
That's awesome advice, man. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I hope it can help you. I've seen you like stream, and sometimes you're not happy at all, and it's easy to tell.
Yep. I wear my emotions on my sleeve. That's just who I am, and sometimes I get super tilted and super pissed. But I've learned to let it go. I think letting it go is exactly what you got to do, right? Like you got to find your ways of letting it go and just turning it off. Sometimes that means not finishing, right?
Yeah, for me, if I don't feel like finishing, I won't. You know why? Because it's just gonna be a 45 minutes like of where I'm like pissed off that like, and I can't let it go because I'm still playing and I'm still thinking, well, but when I forfeit, I go do something else. I go watch a movie or play another game or play guitar. I don't know. And it's just like, okay, my mind, it's so easy to forget about it once you're out of it. But when you're in it, that's where it's like impossible to escape.
Yep. Yeah. Awesome stuff, man. Thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I didn't believe I got the invite, and it's been really fun to think about my past and tell a little bit more about who I am. And I've been great to listen to all these stories from all these people that I've known for so long, but you're not friends with, but you know who they are. And so it's really been an incredible series, and I will listen, even though I'm on a break for Rando. I will keep listening.
What a great interview with ScaryOlive. Great thanks to him for coming on to the show. It's always great to do a deep dive with different members of this community, and Fear and ScaryOlive had such a good conversation here. There's even more content from this episode and other Season 3 episodes available to subscribers of Fear Agent's Twitch channel at twitch.tv/fearagent_. All bonus content will still be released at the end of Season 3, but subscribing will give you early access. This is the last episode of 2022. The year is just about over now. Join us for the final 216 weekly of the year this Saturday, noon Eastern. Remember, no restream. We don't yet know the mode. Check out the Discord for more details. You can get the link to the Discord at 216pod.com. Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. All podcasts are also available on the website too. On Monday, we're kicking off 2023 with an episode featuring Relkin. I had the opportunity to meet Relkin at Speed Gaming Live this year. Really good guy. Can't wait to hear this interview between he and Fear Agent. Happy holidays, everybody. Not much time left in 2022. Have a happy new year. Be safe. Have fun. And of course, Fear, get well. We hope to hear you back on the show real soon.